What is going on? Good to be back on another Tuesday night. So thanks everybody for joining tonight. Greatly appreciate it as always. So good to see a lot of familiar faces, and it's good to be able to finally kind of do a lot of these way more consistently. So thanks everybody for joining tonight. So Marty's wrapping up with Todd right now over on his channel. So we'll get into that stuff in a few minutes. I know they were a little bit delayed with some technical difficulties, which Lord knows I know all about that. So, but anyway, thanks everybody for joining tonight. Greatly appreciate it. So, let me say hi to a few people. Top Dog was nice enough to send a few questions before, and I figured this will buy us a little bit of time while Marty is getting over here, and we'll get into the blind and all that stuff in a little bit. But before we get into some of the questions, which are actually pretty darn good, so these will be kind of icebreakers, so to speak. So let me say hi to everybody. So Kitty was in here right away. Mr. James Lay, the franchise, Gary Franchi, good to see you, buddy. TK, Trevor Kunkel, good to see you, buddy. There's the man, Adam Henson. Good to see you, Adam. There he is, Top Dog. Good to see you, Johnny. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate the questions. Mr. Roy R. does, or Roy R. I always want to say Roy R. does cocktails. That's what he'll always be to me. But how you doing, Roy? Thanks, buddy. Appreciate you jumping. Stacy, good to see you. I appreciate it. I got a, speaking of Stacy and I guess all the Irish whiskey stuff, I got an email the other day from somebody at Two Stacks. I'm sure a few other people probably got it as well, but anyway, they're going to send like this little bottle, well, a bottle of their Irish whiskey. I don't know which one it was. And then these can things. So it was kind of interesting just to see and get into it. I really enjoy Irish whiskey. I don't find myself drinking as much of it, but every time I do, I swear to God that I'm going to drink more of it. And then I end up not, but I enjoy it. And I know Stacy had sent me, I believe, something from Two Stacks when we did a blind one time. And I remember, really enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to seeing what it is that they send over. So anyway, Mary, how's it going? Good to see you in here. I appreciate it. Mr. Brandon W., good to see you, buddy. Hopefully you're staying warm like we are. I know Brandon's not far from me. JG, the ball buster himself, good to see you as always. Let's see what else we got here. Marty can't figure out. I'm usually in that boat, Adam. I'm usually the one that can't figure out all the technical difficulties. So, yes, 49 days till St. Patrick's Day, but who's counting, right? Yes, dram in a can. Oh, is that what it is? I don't know. Maybe that is what they were calling it. I don't remember if that's what I don't know if that's what it was or not. So how's it going? Usonian? I don't know if I've seen the name or not before, but if I have, I apologize for missing it. But welcome. I appreciate you joining. Let's see what else we got. Scott, the Pursuit United Double Oak Rye. So yeah, it is a good one, especially once that thing really opens up. It really turns into a different profile and everything. So it's something that I really enjoyed. So I should say we all did. So Two Stacks of the dram in a can, outstanding Irish whiskey. I'm looking forward to both of them. So maybe I'll do something. If I remember correctly, I thought that the Two Stacks was something that for me felt like a very approachable, like Irish whiskey that I think just about anybody could kind of enjoy. So I may try to do some little video or something along those lines, for bourbon drinkers, that, can kind of also enjoy some nice Irish whiskey. So I might hit you up for a few of those just to see about maybe doing a little video or something on that. But I'm excited for the Two Stack. So, all right. So let's get into, before Marty gets over here, let's get into a few of the questions. Actually, you know what? Before we do that, as you guys will see, so tonight's giveaway is my wife will keep track of all that, so I don't have to. If you guys want to super chat, that's fine as well, no problem. But I know a lot of the other guys are kind of shifting to some of this stuff just because how much this platform takes as, from that part of it. So at least for what you guys, are kind enough to give, it is more of it comes back to I guess I'll say us, not as much back to like this platform. And I think we know what that all is. So anyway, thanks for all that. So yeah, we're gonna go with the old school Heaven Hill 6 year. So my wife will keep track of all of that stuff through Venmo and PayPal and all that. So, and then we'll do a randomizer at the end of the night. So I appreciate everybody's interest in that. I figured, I had a few of these sitting around and I really wasn't, doing much with them. So I figured, well, let's let somebody else kind of experience something that, you're probably not going to get your hands on anymore and all of that. So it will be a nice little evening kind of pour, at 90 proof, still some good flavors in the old Heaven Hill 6-year green label. So anyway, I appreciate everybody joining tonight. Let me just get a little pour. This was the newest. What's up, Top Dog? Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. Hopefully my wife is keeping track of this stuff too. So I'm sure she is, but I'm going to pour a little bit of, this is the newest from Barrel. I was pretty darn surprised, pleasantly surprised by this Barrel Foundation Double Barrel is what they were calling it. So something that I thought was a really nice little bourbon, something very, very approachable. I think that will work for just about anybody. If you enjoy a slightly lower proof, 100 proof bourbon, double oak, man, it's kind of spot on. So cheers, everyone. Thanks for joining tonight. Appreciate it. Nice oak and spice, marshmallow. Very, very nice little pour. So, all right. So per Top Dog, here is the first question of the night. So he had asked or replied back to a community post that I did actually this morning. And he put in there, this is going to be for all of you guys to answer. What is your must-have bottle at your house? What is the bottle that is a must-have? So I kind of look at it from the standpoint of a bottle that's maybe both for sipping and maybe cocktails. Now you can do it both ways, or if you just want to have it as a sipper, what's your must-have sipper and or bourbon cocktail, neat pour, whatever it may be. What is that bottle for you? So I was kind of thinking about it, and it can be a really tough question as much as this is, thanks, brother. As much as it seems like a very easy answer, it's kind of a difficult one. I'm kind of like in that Russell's camp as well. It's just, that Russell's single barrel is, 110 proof. It's a really, really nice, pour, nice proof, man. It's just one of those things that is, I know it just kind of hits a lot of the marks. Four Roses for me is always one of those ones as well. I would say between, I'll give you three of them for me. So three for me probably would be the Russell's Reserve single barrel, a Four Roses small batch select, and probably an Old Forester 1920. Those three kind of cover all the bases for me. And really, if I wanted to use those for any cocktails, they're not cost prohibitive really for the most part. You're not going to totally break the bank. They're not super bottom shelf stuff, but those would probably be the three that I'd like to have on hand at all time. Maybe you could throw a Knob Creek or something like that in there as well. So must have is 100 proof MGP. All right. Yeah, I'm totally down with that. Sippers and cocktails, I think, would be an Old Forester product. Yep. No issue with that whatsoever. So what do we got here? Of course, my I thought it died there for a second. It wasn't, but Mary says Jack Daniel's single barrel proof rye is a must have. That is a fantastic one as well. So can't go wrong with that. So Russell single barrel, she said also, and Trails End 10-year. Okay, interesting. That's kind of a little bit of an underrated one for the most part, but yeah, definitely one that is a very, very interesting one from that standpoint. So I'm going to have to get charge up my Okay, so I just want to get back to here. So JG says, my Milo's mash blend, my house blend, always need to have it on hand. Others rare breed. Okay, I can see that. And I gotta get I gotta get a new mouse. Let's see here if I can get the I'll tell you, it's always one technical difficulty. And with these things, these like Bluetooth ones, you never know when they're gonna die. That's for sure. So um give me 1 second. Gotta get the wife in here to plug it in for me. Gotta love downtime. So dead air, dead air. All right, top dog, single barrel barrel proof Jack Rye, definitely be Renee's choice. I know she seems to definitely be a Jack lady. That's for sure. So all right, let's see what else we got here. Hang on 1 second. All right, here you go. Just plug it. Just plugs right in the front there. Downstairs, it's on my desk. Just plug it in the front. Give me like 5 minutes and then undo it. So all right, there we go. We got that wrapped up. So, what else we got? All right. So I think for the most part, it's kind of all over the board. Like I thought, I mean, for me, I don't on a nightly basis, not always looking for a lot of like big proof. It seems like, when you drink enough of it, like on a nightly basis, you're kind of looking for something that just falls in that really easy kind of sipping category. For me, like John had mentioned, 100, 105. That's kind of something I get into, maybe 110, depending on what it is. Also, kind of fall into that category as well. So it just seems to be one of those proof points where you just don't have to do a lot of thinking. You get the good flavors, And speaking of that, like that's kind of where a bottle like this really kind of falls into. So I mean, I think it's a fantastic little pour for what it is. $55, double oak. I guess just to kind of give you guys an idea on this one. So it's from 4 states, and this one was Kentucky, some 8-year, Indiana, 5, 6, and 9-year, Tennessee, 8-year, Maryland, 5 and 6 year. So some decent ages, I'll say, with that. I think the ages really kind of show up pretty well in that. So really kind of hold it together for the most part. So Gandy says favorite sipper is Old Forester Black Label. All right, cool. I can totally understand that. After last week's, yeah. So I can't. Let's see here. Okay, 100. All right, so here's question number 2 is kind of a fun one here, I think, as well. The third one's probably the best. It's probably the funniest. But anyway, second one's going to be best bottle to give a bourbon drinker as a gift. So this can be kind of interesting. I think this probably will fall into that category of, really being something that we enjoy, thinking that another person's going to probably enjoy as well. So obviously that will be the base for giving a gift, is I think us probably appreciating what that is. But oh, easy there, Adam. I received the gift. I'll tell you, I still turn into like a 10-year-old boy every time I hear someone reference that. But anyway, but guess it doesn't totally surprise me that would be your choice. But anyway, so King of Kentucky, if I'm receiving the gift, all right, well, who wouldn't want that? I suppose that'd be great. Whether you can find it and or buy it, those are two completely different things. But yeah, it's one of those kind of interesting bottles. I mean, it is one that, I guess it's just one of those things that, I mean, a lot of people, I mean, who doesn't want that? I mean, it's hard to kind of, say something, but all right. So Top Dog says price range about 75 to 150. I guess as the category. What's up, Bill? Good to see you, buddy. Local store pick, Roy R says, I think that's always a good idea, especially if that's something that, the person you're giving it to maybe doesn't have a chance to either experience those very often, or, is something maybe you've done before. And that's a good, that's a really, really good suggestion. I think anytime you can kind of make that gift even more or more personal, I think that's a great idea. So that makes it really, really nice and easy for the most part. So, and just plus it gives you a little bit of a conversation piece. So, um, all right, let's see. Yeah, I definitely really like the idea of a store pick. For me, I guess depending on, who it is you're giving it to, because you can kind of feel the pressure of that as well. If you're somebody in that category that, you know, isn't huge into bourbon, maybe keep it in that $50 range or something, maybe even less. If they do kind of, know a little bit about bourbon, I've always felt like the Old Forester 1920 is like a really good default bottle. Like everybody just somehow seems to enjoy it for the most part. It's not like super offensive. It's not going to totally break the bank, but it's just a really, really nice pour. So, for me, if it was going to be somebody that I was just going to give a random bottle to, I'd maybe just give them like a bottle of 1920. I think it offers up a lot of like really good, just kind of tried and true, bourbon profiles. So, all right, so let's do this. Let's wrap up the question part of it. We'll go with the third one. This is probably the best one of the night right here. All of them were good, but this might take the cake. So be honest on this. Be honest. What's the bottle in your house that you're most embarrassed to tell everybody that you really enjoy? So the best bottle that you're probably embarrassed to tell anybody that you really enjoy it, but it is what it is. So be honest, and this might be liberating for you a little bit. Get something off your chest you can share with everybody as to what it is you're kind of embarrassed to tell people that you truly, truly enjoy. But it's you wouldn't go like, shouting at the top of your lungs to tell anybody that it's something that you really enjoy. So okay. Redneck Riviera. Okay, that's interesting. Riviera. Okay. Redneck Riviera. I don't think I've ever had anything like that. Quality House is my house mixer. Quality House. I don't know if I've ever heard of it. Is it a is that a bourbon, or what exactly is that? I'm kind of interested now to know what that is. I live in the Redneck Riviera. It's a John Rich brand. All right, I don't even know who John Rich is. So, all right, this I don't know. I'm guessing at this point with all these names, I'm guessing this must be either like a Scotch or something along those lines. Heaven Hill Quality House Straight. It's $9. I have never ever heard of that one day in my life. Heaven Hill Quality House Straight. Travelers into Caribou Crossing. Okay. Yeah, Caribou Crossing. I think it does get a little bit of a bad rap. I don't think it's nearly as bad. I wouldn't be super embarrassed to tell anybody about that. So, what's up, Richie? Good to see you, buddy. Um, man, what would mine be? That's a good. I probably should have thought about this a little bit more. Top Jimmy, good to see you, buddy. Rich, good to see you as well. Always good to see you. Some old names, but new names all at the same time. So good to see you, Tom. Top. Um, Ancient Age. Oh, that's kind of an interesting one. Man, got the old. Huh. All right. So what do we got here? Quality House. Quality House looks just like the old Heaven Hill bottle. But it's the old square bottle white label. Huh. Okay. Well, hopefully I can tell you this one's probably better than that. And this is the old one, but I didn't even realize they were even making that stuff anymore. Where are you getting that? I mean, are you finding that in the here in the States? I wasn't sure like where you were finding it. I didn't remember seeing really any of those old square bottles even sitting around anymore. So Blue Run. Yeah, I don't know, man. Blue Run, jeez. You haven't heard of quite a really much from them lately. That's for sure. I know they were kind of going through some issues and things along those lines, but I don't know if that ended up being the case or not. So almost anywhere, it's the bottom shelf. Man, are you finding that? I'm assuming you're maybe finding it in Kentucky. I'm not sure, but agree the bourbon. um, yeah, boy, what would mine be? That's a very good one. I'm trying to think of like what that would be. I mean, I don't know if I'd really be embarrassed to tell anybody you drink like Buffalo Trace or anything, but as far as like a little 90 proofer or something like that, I mean, I have no problem sipping on something like that. That's for sure. Um, but man, something I'd be embarrassed to tell somebody about. That's a very good. Here's one I'll say. This is going to be kind of a little bit of a shocker, but anyway, everybody I think is somewhat familiar with the Wayne Gretzky brand. Well, he had this finished whiskey that he did, and I'll tell you what, I wasn't hating it. It was for me way better than what I thought it was going to be like. So I'd probably go with this Gretzky. I don't even know what the finish is. I don't know if it's like a Cabernet or something like that, but I haven't gone to it in quite some time, but that's probably one of the things that comes to mind is that I didn't hate it quite as much as I think either some people have kind of indicated before, kind of it being pretty bad. But the one I had, admittedly, really wasn't too bad. So $160 for it. All right, there you go. Here's your chance. Get in on $160. It can be all yours for $5. So there you go. I had a few of them, and I figured, you know what? Not many of those really floating around that much anymore. Long Branch. Michael says screwball. Okay, I could see that. Maybe if you're going to get into a few shots or something like that, I could see that. So, all right, let's see here. Give me 1 second here. Let me do this. Yeah, that was man, screwball. God, I think it's been I don't even know how long since I had a thing of screwball. My God, probably I don't even know if it's um 10 years probably. My God. All right. I just had to mark that down real quick. I think Marty's going to be popping on here in a second. We'll get into the traveler. You know what? I had it once, and Frank. Honestly, I don't even hardly remember the thing that much. Tony, it was something that was, I guess, I'll say a little under. I don't even have a bottle of it at all. Actually, I think I gave it away, if I'm not mistaken. The smoked maple, nothing wrong with that. You know what? At the end of the day, there's not a lot of there. There's not. I mean, there are some whiskeys that aren't the greatest, but you know what? It is what it is. But hey, I appreciate you guys being honest. So Richie says Spirits of the Apocalypse bourbon. It's actually not too bad. All right, I'll take your word for it. Peppermint or root beer schnapps. Oh man, Restoration Rye. Chris says Caribou Crossing is a joke if someone is looking for a suggestion. Man, Caribou Crossing, I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people say. So, Marty, I sent that to you. Did you get that? Let's see. You should get the email. So, let me know if you got the thing. So, hey Tom, how's it going? Let's see. Wild Turkey Spice Whiskey. Man, I'll tell you what. Well, Richie, they sell a ton. They sell a ton of that stuff. So that's one of those things that, for these big brands, these things keep a lot of people, keep them in business. It's what allows them to keep, I guess I'll say, some of these whiskeys, semi moderately priced. So, all right, we got the man, the myth, the legend right now. He's probably done over there. You had to really get on it, I'll tell you, probably to wrap that thing up. I know you're 20 minutes behind. So, but anyway, all right, here he is. We'll bring on Marty, Mr. Whiskey Nose right now. What's up, brother?
Sorry, man.
Oh, that's okay. No problem. No problem.
I know. We had a blast, man. You talking about crazy.
Let's give a little synopsis of your stream. How did it all kind of shake out? What was your favorite thing?
The Heaven Hill 138 proof, barrel proof. Yeah, that was crazy. This glass 5. Holy hell.
Yeah, well,
it should have been like Todd said. It probably should have been last, but that's okay. It was kind of it kind of blended in, but I knew out front it was a favorite.
Well, it doesn't I'll tell you what, it doesn't surprise me that he was going to throw in some bangers in there for you. So I know Todd's
he has a randomizer. He has something that randomizes his bottles.
Why doesn't that surprise me?
How cool is that? I've got too much shit now.
You mean something that randomizes his bottles like physically?
No, like a general randomization. Like I guess he could hit it like just like we do the random names or whatever.
Yeah.
He could do like that 5-6 times, and the top 6 is what he pours.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's kind of that. I mean, hell, that makes it easy for him. Then he doesn't even have to do any guessing. He can just pull it all.
Yeah. I'm like, God, are you serious?
Yeah, that's pretty good. All right, so let's tell the folks at home, what do you have for me tonight, roughly?
Okay, so basically Scott knows that this here it's a whole rye flight. That's all this is. He knows that, nothing else. We're just going to go through and talk through each pour, kind of like what just happened on my stream. I think me and Scott and the Bourbon Jerk did that. Was it last Thursday? But
yeah,
we were kind of doing guesses, but we talked through them, and it was to me that was so much fun. Nobody's right, nobody's wrong. You do the best you can. You try to pick notes, and we do it together. So
yeah, it really is. I mean, these are always fun because a lot of us get a good opportunity to try a lot of whiskeys. Obviously we know what they all are as we're tasting them individually. But, not only from just challenging your palate standpoint, but just the opportunity to try different things blind and not know what it is, I think is just always a super fun way to do this stuff. So
Scott, I'm going to take 30 seconds. Let me grab these bottles because I'm going to do it with you.
Okay.
And we'll get it going. So
that sounds good. You want to? There you go.
Sorry.
There you go.
There we go. Here we go.
There you go. All right. So he'll pull the bottles. We'll figure out what it is. So obviously we'll go A, B, C, D, and then Marty sent me the mystery pour, which I have a feeling I know what that is.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Shit.
So
I just want to see what you think of it.
No, that's fine. I'm looking forward to try. Well, I'll tell you guys what the mystery pour is at the end. He's kind of teased it a little bit in the past on some of his streams, but yeah. So or I'm actually looking forward to kind of tasting some of that. So Joe, the sample guy, what's up, Joe? Cheers, y'all. Hawk that. Nice. Hawk that like button. Right. Nice. I appreciate it. So, all right. Eric, how's it going, buddy? Man, this is like so annoying. My mouse died. Now I got to like click everything with my like over top of everything. How annoying. I'll have the wife bring the thing back to me in a few minutes. So, all right, what else we got? Let's see. All right, so let's get into a little bit of this. Hey, have you speaking of some of these other whiskeys, have you tried or got a chance to try that double barrel from Barrel Craft Spirits at all yet?
No. Barrel Craft. No.
Yeah, like barrel bourbon?
No, I haven't. Last thing I bought from them was the 5-year.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what this is right here. Just now, double oaked or double barreled.
Shit, is it? How do you know it's double oaked or double barreled?
Well, I only know because they when they send you this, they kind of tell you a little bit, or you do a little bit of research. You can kind of find out. But the secondary barreling is all toasted, not charred.
Have you put it against the first one?
I did, and you can definitely tell the difference. I think that little 5-year bourbon that they had before for $50 was a great little $50 bourbon. You know,
Okay.
I don't know if a lot of other people agree or not, but I thought it was pretty good.
Dude,
I mean,
I tell you what, my main man Russ, he's in chat. He's probably watching. He told me, he's like, go watch the Junkies review that 5-year.
yeah.
There's no ties to it. Just go watch what they say. I think they blinded a little bit. What's up, Todd? Richie Z, William Hall. He goes like, go check it out, and I did. And there was only one store in Wake County that had it, and I went and got it.
Yeah.
And since then, my wife has drank all of it. But I did like it. I thought it was really good.
Yeah.
For, what is it, $54 or something like that?
Yeah, 50, $55. Yeah, they haven't changed the price. It's still 50, $54.99 or $55, whatever it may be. So, and I think today's day and age, when you've got between whatever 5 and what's the oldest one on here? 5 and 9-year-old bourbons. I mean, that heck, you really can't go wrong for that, considering the price of that for $50 or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And it has really, really nice flavor, 100 proof. So it kind of falls within that, that kind of, nightly pour type of thing without getting kind of blown away with proof.
Tommy said he didn't see where it said secondary barrel was toasted.
I thought that I read something about that. So hopefully I didn't get wrong information, but I saw something that the second barrel was a toasted barrel, not like a charred. Hopefully it wasn't just the heads, but I thought it was a charred barrel. So
all right. I'm about as decked out as I can be.
Look at you representing.
Yeah, hellfire. All right, let's dive into A.
All right, let's dive into it. So let's go with number 1. We know that these are ryes. Actually, you know what? Let me get my little trusty notebook out here, and we'll dive into some of this stuff. So
I'll tell you this, Scott, on A.
Okay.
I've had 5 bottles of this at 2 different age statements.
Okay, so you dislike it. Oh, man. All right. So it smells actually pretty darn rich. Like, I mean, you're going to get all that kind of same spearminty, probably rye note. But I'll tell you what, man, this thing really, really jumps out of the glass. Tons of like lemon and orange. Oh, boy. Very, very, very fruity. Boy, to be honest, I'll tell you what it's kind of reminding me a little bit of is like a driftless Glen. I know that's kind of a weird thing to say, but I'll tell you.
I can see that, but
it's kind of jumping out. Like it's a little bit on the earthier side of things mixing in with that sweet. All right, let me dive into this one. Cheers, everyone. Oh, man.
I'll tell you this, Scott, before you break it down. The reason I've gone through these so much is because that finish with a fucking cigar, pardon me.
Yeah.
Holy hell. Dude.
Yeah, it's pretty rich. Nice long finish, spicier than Get Out. Boy, that mint really, really like lingers.
But it's not a nasty mint for everybody.
No. Yeah, I would probably always like kind of preface, like if it was not a good mint or something like wasn't very good about it, I'd probably say that like right away. But I think when you get like a really nice rye, oftentimes I'd take that 100% of the time over dill, So, but this really is. I'm just trying to think of what this I mean, honestly, it reminds me of some Driftless Glen picks that I've had, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's crafty. I don't know if it's like crafty, but
none of these are. I'll just tell you that it's not. Don't go deep.
Oh, okay.
You don't. It does have that youthful.
There's an earthiness that's there. That's what made me think of Driftless Glen like right away. Is that it's rich and bold, but mouth coating, good like amount of like mint that's on there, but works really, really well. So I don't know. Proof wise, I'm gonna say that's probably I don't know, in that 115 range, something like that, maybe.
I'll just tell you this: you nailed it. Pretty
Oh,
close.
okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're
Feels like
0.8 off. You're 0.8 off.
Wait,
So, yeah.
all right. If we're judging on a curve, I'll take that. So, but yeah, I
Throw
kind of felt like
throw a price. What would you pay for that?
boy.
Not guessing price. What would you pay for it?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd have no problem probably paying. Well, I think for the kind of the richness and what that has, I'd say $75 easy.
Okay.
I think it'd be a $75 rye.
Okay.
So I'll say 75. I said driftless, but clearly it's not. You would have probably said something.
I don't think with the driftless picks I've got, I don't think that's and this is a pick, by the way.
Oh, okay.
I'll let you know that. It's a pick. Any guess at age?
Oh boy.
And it's okay. That's kind of freaking hard.
Yeah, I mean, age is kind of tough. I mean, it has some richness behind it. Like it feels, and ryes again can trick you. You know, these can be younger but taste a little bit older. I don't know.
Yeah,
I would
it
probably
doesn't matter. Don't worry.
Well, no, I would just say for like this, for like what that profile is, I would say probably in that, 6-year range, something like that.
Okay. Do you think it's finished or non?
I don't know. My first reaction would be no, but
Okay.
yeah, I mean, the only thing I could maybe get from that would be like a toast or something. Like
Read JG's comment.
Hogger Rivers and gas with 10 cents a gallon, asking him to pray.
You know what? Here's what we need to start doing to 8.
Here's the funny part. JG's older than I am. He's older than me.
Oh hell! Then I know he's well. Never mind.
He knows what 10-cent gas was, so that's why he can say that. So,
all right.
I would say it's maybe toasted or something. It doesn't
right.
feel like that. So, all right, let's move on to number 2.
Sure, B.
Sorry,
or 2.
B,
yeah, you're fine.
B or 2, whatever.
I don't know how I did A, B. Okay.
Oh boy. All right, so this is definitely like less fruity, less mint, less less of that
richer color.
Yeah, less little bit kind of deeper, richer, maybe more darker fruits. The first one was much more like, lemon, orange, maybe even like a little bit of a grapefruit or something like that.
Oh shit, dude. When you said orange, I'm writing that down. Almost zesty.
Zesty. All right, I think I got my trusty remote back. Let's see, is it working? Boom. All right, there we go. We're back at it. All right.
I'm more mature. There's a difference. Well, that's argumentable.
Yeah. This is. I'd even argue if that was up for debate or not. But anyway, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, definitely. This one's really more, a lot of that kind of more mint chocolate, a little bit of spearmint, not as heavy as the other one was before. Beautiful note.
You've had this before. I'll tell you that. I'm pretty sure. Maybe not this year, but you've had this multiple times before. But I love it. That's why I wanted to.
Yeah, it definitely has that kind of vanilla cake frosting chocolate kind of feel to it. Also, a little bit of like a kind of that richness. You start to get some of that kind of like pecan feel to it a little bit. Yeah, completely different profile so far.
Confectionery sugar.
What's that?
Confectionery sugar.
Yeah, there's some sweetness that's there, but it's. I would have said that much more on A than I am B so far, but it's there for sure.
Well, when we go back to A, you'll be like, "Yep."
Mm-hmm. Oh boy, I really like that.
Me too. I have 2 bottles of it, so
I mean, I like that. I like that better than A. I like it better than A.
You're doing the right thing, I think.
Boy, that's got one thing that's very interesting. It's this like burnt orange. Like it is like very much like this dark, rich profile with this like burnt orange note that it has there. Boy, that's really nice. Pretty rich. I don't know if honestly, I don't know if the finish is as long as one though. I don't maybe it's because there was a little bit more spice on A, but I don't know. I'm not sure. Let me take another sip here.
While you take another sip, I want you to think proof and price. Do you get a little barrel note, a little bit on the nose?
Oh yeah, definitely some oak. I think that's where the richness is kind of coming in. Yeah, definitely where the richness kind of comes in. More heavier dark fruit notes, things along those lines. Now we got into a gas conversation. So
I saw 48 cents in Myrtle Beach in 1996.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of the cheapest I've ever had. I think I remember like 79 cents or something down in like Rockford, Illinois when I was working down there. But that probably would have been honestly
95 for me. That's right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what that was. It might have even been a little bit less than that, but that would have been probably 1990. Yeah, 90, maybe 94, 95, something along those lines.
Yep.
Somewhere around there. All right, number two. I'm gonna call A, B, and C like numbers all night long.
That's fine. What do you think price wise for this one? It's not fair, but I'm just, what would you pay for it, Scott? That's the way we're doing it.
Let's see. Let me give you one. I don't know. I think it's probably right in that. Again, right in that maybe 60, 65 bucks, I'll say.
Okay.
Somewhere around there. I mean, I think I like B more than A, I think, at this point, because it's a little bit richer. Maybe for me, it doesn't have quite as long a finish as A did. But it's more like rounded. There's a richer kind of component to it that I tend to kind of lean towards a little bit more. So
well, when we reveal this bottle, that will make perfect sense.
Okay. Because A was much brighter, much fruitier, all those like, lots of, the spice that was there, a lot of that, orange, lemon, like even kind of like almost like a grapefruit or something along those lines. So very, very interesting from that standpoint. So
you know what? If you said age, I don't know if I even know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know.
We'll leave that out. We'll leave that. I don't care.
Yeah, I mean, the default would probably be, again, I'd probably say 6 years, something like that.
What proof?
Proof.
I don't know. I can't remember, so I'm gonna try to do it with you. It's got leather tobacco now.
I was just gonna say it literally, just as you said. I was gonna say, like, the more I kind of sip on it, much more of those kind of earthier notes kind of start to come out, the leathers and tobaccos. It was something that was really starting to jump out as you sip on it more.
Got it, getting better and better.
All right, what did you ask me? What do you
think? Maybe close to proof. I
proof.
think we're gonna shoot this out of the water.
I don't know, man. It feels like, honestly, like around, again, between that 110 and maybe 115 range.
I think you're good. We'll call it what?
112.5. We'll split the difference.
Yeah, okay. It's 112.4. I've got it written down. So I'm just gonna put a
Is that what it is?
I'm just gonna go ahead and put a I look because I
Oh,
just put a big fat check mark beside that.
oh, okay.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'm getting closer from the fractional part
Oh,
of it.
dude, you're
That's for
killing it.
sure.
You're killing it.
So, all right,
But
let
I
me go
love
to
that tobacco leather
mm.
coming through at the end.
That right there is just like kind of the proof of how a whiskey, as you kind of continue to sip on it, really starts to kind of change and evolve. You know, it kind of starts to coat the palate a little bit more, and this is where that a nice whiskey will start to kind of develop like it did. So yeah, that's really really nice. So all right, let's go to we'll go to letter C. So let's see what we got here. All right,
Not
so
a
again, a
lot.
little bit, little brighter than B or 2 or whatever. We got B.
Yep.
Boy, nice. Honestly, nice fruit, like almost a cherry note. Honestly, if I was nosing this, I don't even know right away if I'd be able to tell you this was a rye. It
Well,
really kind of smells like a high rye bourbon, is what it's nosing like.
What this is, without spoiling the kitty, is like this came out with the bourbon at the same time, and
Right.
I had a hard time.
It's very fruit forward.
Yeah, it's very
I mean,
fruity.
lot of that kind of Luxardo cherry kind of feels.
This right here is, if you do a mixer, this is what I want in it.
Oh,
With
interesting.
that cherry,
Okay.
that fruit note.
Yeah, I could see that. What's up, Paulie P? SVP. Yeah, boy, it's got a really nice nose. Doesn't feel quite as like dark as B was, but pretty darn close.
Yeah.
Pretty darn close.
There's a little bit of mint, but very slight.
Oh, that's different. Well, it's
going to be different than that last one. I'll just tell you that.
That's the most. I mean, so far that's the most different. That feels to me like it might be a little bit heavier. That feels like it might be a little heavier on the barley. There's something different about. There's something different. There's almost a smoky element or something to it for me on this. Like, I'm trying to think of like any rye that I've had that really kind of comes across more malty than anything. But
so you getting a lot of malt?
Yeah, it feels different. It feels like it's giving me this again, that lemongrass kind of feel. There's something different about it. This kind of different fruit note that's there.
Let me ask you this. Takeaway number 2. Do you like this one? Would you drink this one?
Probably not.
I'll tell you why I would. Is once you take it back, if you take another drink, you don't have to now, but if you take another drink, it is solid front, back, middle finish for me.
There's for me, there's this one
bitter note.
There's like a bitter note. I was gonna also say like almost like a cigar ash kind of note to it. There's something that's standing out quite a bit. That is too much of one thing, that it doesn't feel balanced enough for me. That's working with a lot of the other things. Everything else is there. And then that one note, that kind of sour or bitter or malty or whatever that is really kind of standing out quite a bit. So,
well, I can tell you this, and we'll get into the breakdown shortly, but
let me ask you this, or the chat. Does what I'm describing sound familiar, like to anybody that this maybe sounds like something that would ring a bell to any of you guys? Because it's odd. This is not familiar to me. Is this something? Let me ask you this, without you telling me what it is. Is this something that's pretty available?
No.
Okay. All right.
Well, then when I got it, I had to reach out to somebody in our group.
Okay. All right.
And he's in chat.
Okay. Yeah,
And
it doesn't it just doesn't taste familiar to me at all. Like, I don't feel like I even have a bottle of this. Is there a chance I don't have a bottle of this?
there's a chance, but I got the feeling you've had it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Like, I like the nose more than I like the palate. Man, there is one thing that is just overwhelmingly taking over whatever this is.
You know what's funny about this, Scott? We know it's rye. I know
Yeah.
the age statement, and when I tell you, you'll be like, "Damn, it kind of maybe missed." It's not E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye, but this thing has zero leather, zero tobacco, zero chocolate for me. Maybe if you dug hard enough, you might get a chocolate note, but it's just I don't want to dig that hard to try to find something that might not be
Yeah,
there.
I mean, I don't think it's bad. What I would say is it wouldn't be my thing because I always say, like, even in doing like a review of something, once something becomes a little bit too like one dimensional, like for me, that's just not something I enjoy that much. If everything else about the whiskey goes away and you're left with one thing that's the more off-putting thing, to me,
Yeah,
that's not something I enjoy as much. But
yeah.
it does not taste familiar to me at all.
Well, I can tell you this: I know it's not fair, but I know what these first three are. It's dead
Mhm.
last for me of the first three.
Yeah,
So
it's just different. And again, when you get into that maltiness, I mean, admittedly, I'm not like a Scotch guy. So when there's one of those things that starts to stand out that takes over, it's one thing I don't appreciate in any whiskey. So
yeah.
doesn't matter what it is. So anyway.
Do you think it might be finished or non-finished?
Man, I don't know. I mean,
It doesn't matter. It's fine.
with
It's
that
not a
funky
favorite.
note.
It's not a favorite. It doesn't matter, Scott. It doesn't
I
matter.
mean, I'd say if I was gonna pay for that, I wouldn't pay any more
I'll tell you
than
this: it's non. It's not finished.
okay.
It's not. So
Um,
that way you don't have to feel like you got to dig anymore.
I mean, I wouldn't pay. I mean, knowing like
Yeah.
what it
Tell me
is,
what you think.
I don't know, $40.
Okay.
You know, I mean, I know not many ryes are $40, so I feel like I'm like almost kind of crapping on this whiskey a little bit, and I'm not trying
I can
to.
tell
It
you
just
this: I don't think you're far off.
um as far as age wise, it doesn't feel like it's very old. I mean, I don't know, like with what it is, I'll say maybe 4 years old. I have no idea what it is. It's not a familiar profile to me at all.
Okay.
No idea. All right, so let's figure this out.
All right. Let's do it.
Oh, let's see. I was just seeing if anybody else. Oh yeah, Whiskey Dick was saying maybe E.H. Taylor barrel proof rye. It doesn't feel proofy enough to be that. And again, like I had a sample of it, but I don't remember it tasting like
Did
that
you
at
say
all.
approve?
I didn't, but I'm gonna say, let me. Man, I don't even know. Like, it felt a little bit lower. I'm gonna say like 107, maybe.
Okay. You're pretty close.
All right, let me go to the D, right?
All right, man.
Who doesn't like the D? All right, so now we're getting back to a little bit of normalcy a little bit here, it feels
Now
like.
this one, Scott, if you didn't know it was a rye, I think you'd have a hard time.
Yeah, I think this kind of falls into the category of B a little bit. Like when you first nose it, like A right away, like you knew A was rye immediately. There was no question about it. This again does fall into that category of enough of that like more oak, that some char, some fruit. There's some richness behind it that doesn't just stand out like a citrusy kind of rye does.
Great shot. Are you here? Put in the chat.
Yeah, honestly, this kind of reminds me a little bit of B. Like there's some similarities to this a little bit for me with that the more kind of like dark, richer kind of components to it a little bit.
I've owned 3 bottles of this one, and so when I poured your sample, I cracked my last one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, just nosing it feels like it's a little proofier. Like it feels like you're starting to get above 120. It feels like, but we'll find out.
Okay.
And it's kind of got a little bit of heat behind it, but I love the rich kind of like fruit, a little bit of like a cobbler kind of note to it. Oh, man, it's spicy. I do like kind of a little bit of that fruit. No, man, I don't think if the longer I nose this, the more I'd convince myself that this was a bourbon.
I'm telling you this, you throw this in, like I said.
Yeah, I think you could fool a lot of people that
Dude,
this
it's got a tobacco, chocolate leather nose. It's a pick, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, that's very nice. I love the spice factor to it. Incredible, maybe the best spice of all of them.
I'll tell you this, Scott. You don't have the. I don't think. Well, if you have this bottle, you live in North Carolina, but you have a shit ton of these.
Well, if this is now what I think it may be, we have to talk to figure out like how to get one of these, because that is like worthy of having your name or something on it. I mean, that spice,
son of a bitch.
That spice. And what's up,
Dude,
JC? Boy, that is.
I'll tell you this. You know what? Just because we're having fun. I know he's a dick.
God, this guy. I thought I hit the ban button, but apparently it's not working tonight.
I'll tell you this, Scott. This bottle's under $70.
Man, it's good. I mean, honestly, dude, it might be my favorite at this point right now. It has everything that you want. You know, so this is kind of interesting because it is still not totally drinking like a rye. I mean, it is really drinking like a higher rye bourbon, right?
Yeah.
There's some underlying like mint notes, but it's not jumping out like a heavy rye. Like A was like, it felt like a little bit of like a driftless pick, a lot of that fruit and all of that spearmint kind of note. This much darker, much richer, great spice, chocolates, fruit. There's almost this kind of like plum, prune, like those,
stewed fruit,
heavy grape notes or something like that.
It's stewed dark fruit.
There's really, I mean, it's really, really fantastic.
It's rich. It's got sugar.
It does. I'll leave it. Yeah, I think that's a good. It's probably like a light molasses, nice brown sugar. Like I think the more I sip on this, the more I would just convince myself that this was just a really nice bourbon, maybe a high rye bourbon, to be honest.
You'll know that mash bill, Scott. I don't when I show you the bottle, maybe. But dude, I'm telling you,
I'd pay. I mean, I'm just going to say a number. I'll just say $100.
I told you.
What's that?
I told you it was under $75. So
I'd pay. I mean, I think it's worthy of $100. Like, so under $70. I mean, I think, what it is you're getting with all of that spice that's late, that finish like is forever on this. You said this was a pick?
Yep. And I don't know the club, but apparently it's a big name club in North Carolina. And I bought this bottle back in the summer. I think I bought one, and it was in Pilot Mountain, which I call Mount Pilot because that's technically what that is for the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah.
For the money, I was like, I love rye. I love picks. I love this brand. And then I got to Jenny's mom and dad's, and I was like, holy shit. So when on our way back home, I stopped and bought 4 more. And I gave them a great shot, Rob.
Yeah.
I kept one.
This is a North Carolina rye, isn't it?
No, it's not.
It isn't.
No,
it isn't.
I told you, you have some of this stuff.
Really? I have it right now, you think?
Yeah.
Really?
No, I don't know. I don't know if you have the rye, but I know you have this.
Oh,
bottle.
okay. Oh, okay. The brand.
Yeah.
Okay. Man, I mean, whatever it is, it sure feels like it could be $100 rye for sure. I
Dude,
think I think it's kind of, it falls into a category of like, I would say for anybody who didn't think they like rye, you could give them this and they would probably enjoy it. They would enjoy it like a bourbon. So whatever D is, it's a really, really fantastic rye whiskey. Let me ask you this.
Go ahead.
As far as what the mash bill on that is that I mean, is it more of like a 51 rye, or do you know like roughly, or is this a higher rye, or like where is it? I mean, it doesn't feel like 51%. Like it feels like
It's a straight rye whiskey, but
all right. You don't happen to know like what the
no,
mash
but you
bill
probably
is.
will.
Okay. Man, whatever it is, it's really nice. You almost get these, like, I'll say pastry, almost like a coffee cake. I mean, there's some like espresso notes that kind of start to jump out a little bit. Man, I feel like I could drink that stuff all night long right there.
Yeah, I have.
I think the proof might be a little bit higher on that.
What do you think?
Man, I don't know. Like I'm gonna say like I was getting on the nose. I'm gonna say like 121.
120 on the dot.
Really?
Yeah. You
Wow.
nailed it. There's nothing, you know what? There's nothing this whiskey hides. It's all there.
No.
It's very
It has
much all there.
what it has for me, and this goes back to like, doing lots and lots of barrel picks, is that in my mind I have this profile that I enjoy, and this falls like right into that category of everything that I enjoy, that I feel a lot of other people like enjoy. This has the perfect balance of the spice, the oak, the sweetness, and then fruit, all of that, a little bit of that mint that's there, not overwhelming or anything like that. It just has a great balance, great finish to it, but it coats the mouth really well. So yeah, I mean, I would say $100, but I think it's even worth more. I think people would pay more than $100 and be perfectly satisfied with that.
Well, I think with you saying that,
Mm-hmm.
and the rise and the picks the Mash and Journey Club have done in the past, I think for the value of this bottle, that I think it would fly off the shelf, and I don't think we would have any problem going and picking a barrel there.
And whoever this
I don't
is,
know. I don't know. Now that I'm racking my brain, I don't know if you've done one there or not. Anyway, let's get with it, man. This is too much shit. Everybody's like, Richie's like, I can't wait to reveal. Yeah. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah, so we're good.
All right. The mystery pour, should we just do that later? Right. Do you want to tell anybody what that is before I drink it, or
no? Or should I take? We'll go least to favorite.
Oh, you want me to go on my least favorite?
Yeah, and I know that's C.
Yeah, C would be my least favorite. Okay. Then I would probably go. Boy, this is kind of a tough one here a little bit, because between A and B, they're kind of splitting hairs a little bit. They're two completely different things. But if I just go by like what I enjoy flavor wise, it would probably be B. So I would go. All right, let me do this.
Go ahead.
Okay,
go ahead.
So from least favorite to favorite, I would go C, A, B, D.
Okay.
And I could flip flop A and B on any given night. C for me was probably the outlier, the one that I enjoyed the least.
Okay.
So, all right. So I had, and let's say like age wise on this, like, I don't know, it feels a little bit older. I'd say maybe in that, honestly, 7 to 8 year range. I'll say even 8 years.
Okay.
On D. Yeah, D was nice. It had a lot of really, really good things going for it.
I loved it. When I had it when I got to Tennessee, I was like, yeah, I'm going to get some more.
Yeah, that was really, really good stuff. So now let me ask you this before you reveal
I'm not, but you're drinking a neck pour of that too. So I just cracked it, like I said.
D. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I'm sure whatever that is, especially at that proof, it's going to open up a little bit more and really maybe even change for the better. So, but I'll say this real quick before, if anybody hasn't gotten in, snag this thing. You're not going to find these bad boys around anymore.
Hold on a minute.
So they'll I was looking to try to find something that was different that maybe you can't just find every day. And lo and behold, I had a few of those.
It's not fair if I enter. That's okay.
What's that?
I said I'd enter, but no, that's okay. We're good.
Yeah. So anyway, all right, let's do the reveal. What do you think? Or do you want to do D or E right now?
I know we'll do that in a minute. That's nothing special. That's something I concocted myself, and I know you know what it is, and we'll talk about it. But
right, so we'll go
back.
Yep.
We'll go backwards.
Yep.
Okay. C was last. Bright fruity. Slight mint. $40. Not finished. Not very well balanced. Got a little malty lemongrass. 107 proof. Was pretty damn close. That is New Riff Rye, 8-year, 100 proof.
Really?
Yep.
All right. That was that 8-year thing, hey?
Yep.
All right. Wasn't my thing. Is that one of those ones that use a different rye by any chance? That's not like that Balboa or something like that.
No, it's not Balboa. I think it's straight rye. No. They just put the new Balboa out.
Okay. Yeah, it wasn't super crazy about that. You know, might be worth trying like another one or a different one to see if I get like kind of the same thing. But
well, the problem with that bottle, Scott, is they proofed it down to 100. Yeah.
All right, I said 107.
All right, A was your number 3.
Yes. Actually,
really? Because I love that bottle. Hold on, let me make sure I got it right. All right, that is.
A was nice though.
Oh, I love. Like I said, I've had multiple. I've had the 9-year and a couple of these. This is the 8-year. I like the 8 better than the 9, but it's Limousine Rye.
Okay, all right.
Pick.
That's interesting because I don't remember their stuff being as bright as that. But...
All right, it's French oak finished.
Okay, all right. I mean, they're right up the road from me.
Yeah, 57.1%. 114.2.
Yeah, it was still nice. It just was very bright. You know, had lots of that fruit, that orange, that lemongrass, even almost like a grapefruit. There was a little bit of a tartness that it had to it. All right, so I said $75, 115, and 6 years.
$59, 8-year.
8-year. Okay. And what was the proof?
What did I say? 114.2.
Okay. All right. So pretty close on proof. Okay. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna write that down. So,
B was number 2.
Correct.
B is 112.4. You about nailed it. On the money.
I said 112.5.
Yeah, you about nailed it on the money. You said $65.
Yeah, in 6 years.
It's barrel strength. You're drinking 2022 release of the Michter's Barrel Strength Rye.
Yeah,
but Scott, a lot of the notes you were saying were dead on it.
It was nice. I mean, it was just. I mean, it had that rich, darker profile that I enjoy in a whiskey. No matter if it's rye or bourbon, it's just something I love how it stands up. Just overall, I think when you get that rich, dark, kind of profile, note. Yeah, oak, leathers, tobaccos, all of those things that mix with some of that sweetness, and it has to be balanced and have a nice finish. But what year was that? 2022?
Yeah, I've got two 2022s.
All right, so that was the 2022 Michter's barrel strength rye. Okay.
All right.
And how old was that? Roughly. Do you know? I know it's probably not age stated, but
I think they're 6, 8 plus, aren't
yeah,
they?
okay. I wrote 6 years down, but that's kind of what it felt like. But man, it had a really, really nice
Yeah,
profile to it.
it's dark, it's rich, it's great.
Yeah.
I've got a backup.
That's a nice bottle to have right there. I mean, especially if you can find that at SRP, that's a really nice bottle.
I didn't. The two I've got, I had to get off auction. I tried this one. I was like, I like the finish of that tobacco and everything that started happening. I was like, yeah, I can grab one more for like $100.
Yeah. Yeah. I wouldn't, with that whiskey, I wouldn't have wanted something that was a super overpowering cigar. But I think it could hold up to a lot of like, just a medium body cigar. I think you'd be perfectly fine with something like that.
Yeah, I agree with that. 100%. I've not paired it with one, but like I have with A and I have with D. But anyway, you ready for D?
I'm ready for D. So
all right.
One other, I'll say this before. So yeah, if you don't want to do either Venmo or PayPal, you don't have to do that. You can do Super Chat is cool too. We'll get your name down there as well. So get on that before the night's over. You don't want to miss out on that. That's a good little 6-year bottle right there. One you're not.
I was. You know what's funny? The first time I ever went to Justin's House of Bourbon with Kevin, Jenny, and Christy, I saw that on the counter. That bottle. We looked around the store and I said, Kevin, I'm going to buy that green label. Yeah. I went to the counter and there was one guy ahead of him and he goes, oh, is that for sale? Fucker bought it.
Yeah. Well, now when you see them, they're just like, they're just priced crazy at this point. Any of these old kind of square Heaven Hill bottles that are not like some of that super bottom shelf stuff that somebody was mentioning before. It's a lot. It's just that older profile. I mean, I got this probably in, I don't know. I bet I got this bottle in 2016, probably.
Wow.
Would be my guess. I probably got this right when I started going down to Kentucky with my dad, and I'm sure they were just kind of sitting around, and I didn't know it was, they were all over the place at that point.
I'll tell you one of the best stories Scott ever told me was he went to Kentucky with his dad, and I don't remember the bar. It might have been Whiskey Kitchen. I don't know, but they were sitting there, and this younger old cowboy walked in.
Yep. And
apparently had a wallet thicker than our walls of our house, and he asked her,
"Is this the Pappy story?"
Yeah. He's like, "What Pappies do you have?" And which one did he get?
I think it was a Pappy 15. I don't remember if it was 15 or 20.
Finish the story. So he asked her if she had Pappy, and she said, yeah, and she grabbed it and set it down for Go Scott.
Yeah, this was interesting. We were there actually for the first time. So at this point, like, I was completely just blown away by the entire situation. Like, this was a Merle's Whiskey Kitchen. You were correct. And at that point, like, I had
plenty pours there.
Yeah, I had not seen like that much whiskey collectively, like, ever. And it was just a lot. It was a lot. And it was myself, my dad. It was early, like right when the place opened. And just a good old boy comes in and sits down, not directly next to us, maybe one bar stool over. It's myself, my dad, and this guy. That's it, at Merle's Whiskey Kitchen at whatever, 12:05 p.m., whenever it was. And he says, I'll do a whiskey and Coke and make it a Pappy. And the girl, I think, was kind of like taken back. Like I was when he said that, I couldn't believe like he even said what he said, because at that point in, let's say, 2016, you didn't mix, and you probably still don't. I mean, you could, but you don't buy a pour of Pappy at a bar and then mix it with Coke. Well, anyway, long story short, he did. He had the whole bottle. He was mixing the stuff with Coke the entire time we're there. He probably polished off half of that stuff. Well, I can't say long story short again, but anyway, we found out he was this big kind of like business guy who had just kind of flown in for some meeting or whatever it was. And this was evidence you could not judge a book by his cover. Because I mean, this guy looked like he'd almost gotten off a combine. This was just a good old boy from wherever, but he was a business guy, and apparently he had a ton of money and didn't care, and that's what he wanted as a whiskey and Coke. And I guess it wasn't his first time in there, because the bartender said every time he comes in, this is what he gets, and they don't pour any of it. They put the Coke and the ice and the pappy all up there individually, and he does it all. And
they can't bring themselves to ruin it.
They just couldn't do it. So he does it all himself. But I mean, we were amazed at like what was going on. So anyway, it was just kind of interesting, and it was one of those kind of fun stories of just being in Kentucky for the first time and just kind of being blown away by all of that. So, but thanks, Marty. Appreciate it. And it's a win it there, buddy. All right. So should we try? Oh yeah, we didn't even get to the best one yet, have we?
All right. So here's what I want you to do. It's a rye. I want you to turn to your right shoulder.
Okay.
I want you to look over your right shoulder, top shelf, and grab one of those good old bottles right there. You're looking at it. Grab it.
Right here?
Yep.
An Old Scout?
Just grab it.
Really? Well, which one? Well, this is the one I've got open. It's just 11 years.
I know that's not a rye, but this is.
No way.
I shit you not. This is an Old Scout, 6-year, 120.8 proof. I can't even try to pronounce the family reserve. But look at Scott. Look at the color between me and the black shirt.
That's crazy. That thing is dark. Now let me ask you that. On the back of that bottle, what does that say? Where is that stuff distilled?
Indiana.
Oh, it is. So it is still the MGP stuff. Man, I was not getting MGP vibes off that, but I'll tell you what, that is.
No.
Man, that is really that. Man, that's really nice.
Now now that we're in it.
Man, that's a really, really good rye whiskey right there.
Between $50 and $69.
Man.
Have you ever done an Old Scout pick for the group?
No. We had reached out a while ago, and then they had sent us something and just kind of fell off the radar a little bit. But man, I'll tell you what. I think
the rye's the route, man.
That's a
pick. Are you shitting me?
I would hate to say like trying to like reconvince people of Old Scout and all of that, but I'll tell you what, that's a really, really good bottle of.
Well, that could do whiskey. Two things for the group. You could have an extremely high yield at 6-year. Could. Yeah. Doesn't mean you will. And your price point would be like, we might want to do multiple bottles. Who knows?
That's a really. I think with Old Scout and their stuff, I think you have to go there. Where are they? Where are they out east?
West Virginia.
West Virginia. Okay, that's what I thought. So.
Bottled by Smooth Ambler Spirits, Max Welton, West Virginia.
Yeah. Okay.
I could drive that. Hell yeah.
Man, that was a really, really nice bottle of whiskey right there. And yeah, I would have no problem with that thing being $100 bottle. Like it felt worthy of all of that. Had everything that I think anybody could possibly want.
Dude, this thing's is special. Like I said, man, I got Rob 1, Great Shot 1, and I have 2, so at least 4.
That thing's dark, man. That thing must have sat somewhere in West Virginia or something, because that didn't get that color in Indiana.
It's not unfinished. It's not finished. I mean, it's like straight.
That thing had to come back to West Virginia and sit there in some of that heat or something. I don't know, but man, that thing was.
I'm glad you liked it, because that's. I love that limousine rye. I do. I've had multiple of them. But the only outlier here that's. I'll use the term non-accessible. It might be the Michter's rye.
Yeah.
Because, they're very limited and they're allocated most of the time. But holy hell, when you can find something like this.
Yeah. Well, and there you go. I mean, that's one of those things where, even though it's MGP, I think it has a lot to do with maybe where that thing ended up being aged at, because that did not necessarily come across to me as just kind of standard MGP. There was that darkness to it. And once you showed the color, like, it didn't surprise me why that had like the profile that it did. So, man, that was fantastic.
Good. Before you, I guess you have, try a little bit of the Gold Glen there, just to, you know what it is, but just, I think it's pretty cool.
Thanks for the Gold Glen,
man.
by the way.
Yeah, man. I think this is pretty fucking good.
This is my
$17 finished whiskey.
I got some corn notes.
It's 100% corn. I'll just tell you that.
I think what I'll say is,
I know you know, but that's fine. Just go ahead. Do your thing. Do your thing.
I think your spirals that you got in it are really improving it.
I think so too.
It's starting to give it a little bit of that kind of barrel, a little more kind of chocolate barrel notes, a little bit more complexity.
I'll tell you this: I've got the same spirals in a Buffalo Trace bottle right now.
Interesting. That'd be kind of a fun experiment to do. Just kind of crack.
That we'll do the reveal here in a minute. But me and Katie and Ethan and Jenny, when they were in town, for those that don't know, they came in for my birthday and stayed with us. We went to a speakeasy in Raleigh. They're like, we have a special finish whiskey. It's like $12 a pour. Do y'all want to try it? Right after we sat down, we're like, yeah. And that was it. And I'm sure they did theirs a little bit different, whatever.
Yeah.
We're like, my God, this is pretty good. And at the end, after we ordered 2 rounds of Russell's 15, they told us what it was. I was like, hey, I can kind of do that.
Yeah. Yeah. There's nothing stopping you from buying a toasted or charred spiral cut and stuffing it in a bottle,
So to let everybody know what that is,
here, let me
here's
hang
another
on.
one.
Let
with
me
the spirals in it.
Yeah, there you go.
As you can see the color.
Yeah. Yeah, we all know Mellicore doesn't normally look like that.
That is Mellicorn.
Interesting. Man, that's a nice little pour. You know what? I think it'd be really nice in a cocktail too.
Oh, yeah. That's a great idea.
I mean, especially with something that's like inexpensive like that. I mean, to buy one of those spirals and dump it in there.
So Top Dog sent me like 12, 15 spirals. I've got like 3 bottles of Mellicorn brewing. So what he told me to do, and he's right, was put they're not really spirals, they're just little plugs or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
He's like, put 3 of them in the oven at 400 degrees until the entire first level of your house, all you can smell is French oak. And he goes,
that'd be pretty awesome, man. You could there's some bottles that I'd 100% do that too. That's for sure. That's cool.
Shit,
man, that makes sense.
So, and he's like, when you smell it, just pour a little bit out of the bottle. Get your tongs, pull them out, put them straight in the bottle, red hot.
Yeah,
that's what I did.
I can see that for sure. So, but all right, so we'll run another 5 minutes or so, and we'll run the wheel of death, as they say. So we'll see who the winner tonight is.
TCT, which one are you talking about?
I think he's talking about the Old Scout. If you can get like one of those that's dark, I'd want to see it, because like I've seen some before that are still pretty light, but I'll tell you what, that one you got, that thing was dark. Can you hold it up again? I want to see what I want to solo. That thing was dark, man.
If I can get out of the way so you can see the.
Yeah, see that's not quite as standard as what you normally see. So, yeah, he says Old Scout rye right there. So that's a good looking color right there on a whiskey. So yeah. again, that's one of those brands that for a long time, like early on, they were hot, man. Remember these things? This is an old from 2000.
Are they MGPs, those old ones, I guess?
Yeah. Yeah, this is all the MGP. This is from 2017. I've got a little bit of this 11-year left. I probably should polish that thing off. I'm sure it's going to go dead pretty soon, but yeah, people used to go crazy. Then they started buying Tennessee, because all their other stuff ran out, and they started making their own stuff, and I think they are, but I don't know if they're releasing a lot of their own stuff or still MGP or what they're doing. But I mean, man, Old Scout for a long time, they were a whiskey, and especially some of their ryes, man, those old ryes that they had with that kind of like, I don't know if it was a purple label or if it was a purple top, but man, were those incredible rye whiskeys.
Yeah.
They are the old Scouts. I mean, it's some of the most underrated whiskey that's probably out there. I know it's kind of died off a little bit, but man, if you can find those old ones,
yeah,
they are 100% worth grabbing. So, yeah, I'm glad I got all of those up there when I did. I mean, I got them.
I don't remember what meetup we were doing or pick what we were doing or whatever, but I remember you had something worked out with Bill that you brought him one of those for a trade or something.
Yeah, I lost a Super Bowl bet.
Oh God. Okay, sorry.
It was the 10-year like gold label.
Okay.
So this was probably going back 3 years ago. And it was a Chiefs and someone. I don't know what the Super Bowl was 3 years or whatever or so ago, maybe even longer, but I was pretty convinced the team that I thought was going to win wasn't, and needless to say, I lost the bet, and he got my only 10-year gold label Old Scout, which I wish I wouldn't have bet on that. It feels like a lot at this point.
Did you see his post on Facebook today?
Yeah, where he was the first guy at the golf course.
I told him, I sent him a text and said, "Get a fucking job."
Yeah, I was like, this is like eager beaver, man. It's like, Jesus, he can't wait to play some golf, but I'll tell you. So anyway, but
well, Scott, put it on the list, Old Scout, maybe.
Man, I've got it. I've underscored fantastic twice. Good. So
that makes me happy.
If you can find that, that's worthy of putting a label or something on right there.
Yeah,
so,
3 out of the 4 were pretty much in the same price range when you exclude Michter's. If you have Michter's MSRP, I think I don't know what that, maybe $90, $100. I don't know what that technically would be, but
I mean, the Michter stuff, like, I mean, if you're in Kentucky or there, you can find those. I mean, they drop those things quite a bit. Like you can get some of those barrel strength ryes or bourbons or whatever it may be. Like,
yeah, dude, if I ever found a barrel strength bourbon, the black label, that was, yeah.
Yeah, you can find them. I mean, they're all, I'll still say reasonably priced for the most part. Those, that the 10-year, I don't know. I'm not like, they're good. I've got like a few of the old ones downstairs. I probably got some from like 2015 or 16 just sitting there that I'll probably never open. I've had them. They're okay, but I don't know. I'm just not crazy about that lower proof like whiskey for the most part. Bottle's fantastic. Everything's great, but the whiskey's just, Well,
I went to a store today and they had a Elijah Craig 18 for $170. I was like,
Yeah.
Because really, you're passing? I'm like, yeah, look at the proof.
That's the hard part with that. Like, I mean, I don't want that whiskey at 100 proof, So that's the issue with that. I don't want to pay that much money for a 100 proof whiskey, not that it can't be good, it can be, but for it to be rich or complex or anything like that, you need that age to cut that water,
I've got a 2020 that I've had maybe 2 or 3 pours out of, and I don't know.
Yeah. All right, so you guys got 1 more minute, and I'll have the wife send me the list. So get in on it if you haven't already. If you have, thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. Somebody will enjoy this nice little, kind of like a nice little, nightcap kind of bourbon. 90 proof, but good flavor. Again, older. So I don't know. I mean, I probably got this thing like 9 years ago, probably. And it's just been sitting downstairs with some of the others. I've thought about just using.
I'm just assuming are those the old barrels, the old aged barrels, I guess?
Oh, I don't know. I got this thing in. I got this in. I don't know. I mean, probably. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, 2016, 2017, something like that. I mean, I've had this thing for. I've got a few of them.
2008 or 2009 distill.
I don't know. I mean, it's 6 years old. So, yeah, I mean, maybe it's from
maybe a little younger.
2010, maybe somewhere around there, maybe give or take a little bit. But yeah, good little bottle. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's still kind of before the boom really took off and you were still getting some like good whiskey, even at 90 proof. I mean, look at the color. I don't know if it's hard to tell, but the color is much darker than you're going to get on a lot of 90 proofers nowadays, So anyway, somebody will enjoy it. That's for sure. So, all right. So let me send something to the wife if everybody is done.
Hey,
and have her send me an email. All right. Let's see. I'll throw it in a randomizer. Let me open this up here. Thanks for sending this flight tonight. This was a fun one.
Yeah, I thought it would be easy and fun and just talk flavors. That's what I was shooting for.
Yeah, that was that was a fun one. That's for sure. Get rid of those names here. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay. Let's see. As soon as she sends that over, we'll get the names put in there. We'll let's see. So while we're waiting for the names, if anybody wants to jump in at the last second, feel free.
Scott, I'm gonna
check that old
real quick.
All right, Julie says hi, Marty.
All right.
Check the plumbing. Okay. All right. Okay. There we go. Okay. Okay, let's throw it in the. All right, so we got all the names. All right, I'm surprised. I thought there would have been a few more for this little bad boy, but anyway, all right. Let me share the screen here real quick, and there we go. Share screen, and we'll get going. So, all right. So hopefully everybody can see that. Let me shuffle up the names here a little bit, and we'll go. So I've done a shuffle. All right, here we go. Good luck to everybody, and here we go. Who's the winner?
Damn it. Hot damn, the one I gave away.
The whiskey deck. All right, Bill, send me your information, and we'll get that out to you. So, Bill, send me your info, and I'll get that mailed out to you. Congratulations. Awesome. Yeah. So somebody or he'll really enjoy that bottle. That's for sure.
Awesome.
Rigged. So anyway,
but did something good for somebody.
Yeah. So it's fun. It's a fun one. Well, it was one of those things that I probably wasn't going to be drinking it anytime soon. It was just collecting dust, and I figured, what the hell. So anyway, congrats, Bill. And Marty, thanks for sending the blind. I appreciate this, man.
Anytime, man.
Should we talk about maybe next week? I'll send you I'll put together a little blind, and maybe we can just do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
on
Let's
your
do the
channel.
same thing. I don't, this isn't about trying to beat somebody and trying to
Yep.
make a fool out of yourself. It's more about enjoying as we go pour to pour. I think me and Scott and the Bourbon Jerk hit on this last week on his channel, and it's just something we want to kind of continue throughout the channels. It's just like, let's break these things down. Let's learn about each pour. Let's talk about what we get. And if you have them, join in, and let's just kind of do it together.
Yep.
I think that's the best thing for the groups.
Yep. Bill, send me an email or something. Let me put this up here real quick. Maybe we can coordinate something. I'll get this to you. If you're going to be driving by me, yeah, I can just give you this thing if you want to do it that way. Thanks, or whatever. That's fine. That makes it easy. But let me throw this up here real quick. There you go. There's the email. If you wanted to shoot me a quick email, and we can coordinate something. I should be around, I think, on Saturday. So one way or another, I'll figure out a way to get this thing to you. So anyway, but thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining tonight. Marty, thanks for the blind. That was a ton of fun. It's an eye-opening thing right there. You wouldn't expect, if you told somebody like right away to that an old scout was going to win tonight's blind. I bet most people wouldn't have believed you at all. You know, so this is why blinds are fun. You have no idea what it is. You're going based off of what you smell and what you taste. And
but it's fun also knowing a little bit about, like, primary grain or something like that. So I think that kind of makes it a little easier to evaluate for everybody. So yeah, it's great. I love it.
Yep. That was a good one. So, well, thanks again. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. So next week I'm going to send, I got to put together a blind probably, soon. Maybe I'll do it tomorrow and get this thing out to Marty, and we'll do it on, I think, your channel, I think, next week. And,
sure.
And we'll have some fun with that. So I've got some fun things in mind that I'm going to throw in there.
God.
So this could be anything. This will be bourbons, rye, whatever it may be. This is going to be all over the board. So this could be
I dig it.
This could be a lengthy one. We're going to get in his head a little bit, I think, with this one.
That's right.
So we'll have a good time with this. But anyway, thanks, guys. I appreciate everybody for joining tonight and watching and hanging out for a little bit. So until then, we'll see you guys next week. Remember, it's about the journey, not the destination. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Cheers, everybody.